Hey, Josh Carmichael here. I think you're going to want to hear this. I've been holding on to something for over 33 years. Today, I want to share a few things that maybe you don't know about me, but I figured it's really important in today's society, in today's world, economy, political structure, etc. With all the shit that's going on, I think you need to know this. I think you need to hear about this. And I know most of you probably know me as being in the entertainment industry for 30 years, whatever. But before that, my past was I served in the U.S. Navy for 4 years active and 4 years inactive. Where my job, I had a top secret crypto clearance. And I was assigned to be a liaison of the Admiral of the Sixth Fleet in Virginia. There my job was to decrypt the encrypted messages, hence the crypto clearance. Crypto clearance is higher than top secret, basically. These messages came from the Pentagon before they went to the Associated Press, or what we call the AP. And during my time of reading them, I discovered or saw that the information painted a completely different picture of what I thought the government and the structure of our society was. I quickly realized that instead of protecting us, it was a corrupt form of the military, of the operations, or the government, or the corporate world to control the people, where they would skew messages and manipulate the information of actual events to benefit their own power or their own good or their own control. The best way I can describe it. It was hard to read. It was a lot. So I went to the Admiral that I reported to and I told him, hey, someone must stop this. That the people deserve to know the truth. He told me they can't handle the truth. And he said most people would commit suicide if they really know the truth or knew the truth. And I said, well, I can't accept that, sir. And he said, Carmichael, you're only one man. This has been going on for over 100 years. You really think you're going to stop them? And I said, well, I don't know, sir. But being a cocky 22-year-old man, I said, I'm going to try. 1 year later, I'm escorted from my, basically my dorm room where I slept and locked in an officer's stateroom. I don't know if you know, I've served on an aircraft carrier, and the staterooms are where the officers' quarters are. And this one happened to be the captain or the CEO of my ship. So I'm flanked by a petty officer, a senior petty officer, and a lieutenant on the other side. And I'm waiting there for a while before two men in black walk in and shut the door. And at this time, I'm an E5, a second-class petty officer. So after minutes of not really knowing and understanding, the men started asking me and offering me a lot of money. They wanted me to extend my enlistment for another 3 to 4 years. It got up to be about a $180,000 bonus that I would receive half now and half over the next 4 years. Then they offered me a position in the CIA. Wasn't sure what I was going to do, but when they told me they knew the history of me and they were watching me since I was 17, it definitely changed my opinion of how I felt about my military and about my government. I got nervous, and I got to say it was a bit scary, to say the least, to know that I'd been watched for that amount of time. So after hearing about the money and then pitching me ideas of what I would do, where I would go, I turned it down and walked out. My senior petty officer, as we were walking out, said, man, that's crazy. In over 30 years, I've never heard of anyone being offered to join the CIA. He said, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And you just turned it down. I go, it's not my life. And so I knew that. I knew that I didn't want to be a part of that. And like most Americans and most people, now we've been affected by the media and drawn a curtain or blind eye to reality. So before this gets taken down or I get kicked off Instagram, whatever, TikTok, I need you all to know that you've been lied to for a very long time. And it's time to wake up, step up, and take back. Take what is ours. Our freedom. The freedom, the freedom to the people and to live as people and to live free in a country with our own rights, our own agenda, and our own best interest at heart, where the government knows less about us and we know more about them. Where the government is afraid of the people and governs what is supposed to be, or what was initially created for the fact of the word democracy in our Constitution. Democracy, taken from the Greek word demos, meaning citizens, and or people, and kratos, meaning power. The power of the people. Democracy. We are the power. We are the elite as people. As if we could stand together, we can and shall be, and beat the hierarchical powers that lie and manipulate each and every day, and to each and every one of us. I mean, come on, if you follow or watch national media run by corporation, run by institutions, most of them which fund the propaganda that you'll understand, it's not what they say it is. I learned a long time ago to question authority and question everyone when it sounded too good to be true, because most likely it is. And I learned my vote doesn't count. My opinion doesn't really matter unless I'm the one writing the check. I learned that corporations run our country, and if you don't know that, they create the wars. They kill innocent civilians and children for the control over natural resources and land rights. The U.S. government is run by a group of wealthy families, which I'm sure you've heard of. And you can research them, and you'll find their names behind every political campaign. The FDA, the FBI, the CIA, NASA, all the pharmaceutical companies, all the medications, all the farming, the gas and oil, and pretty much every mass-produced product we all consume on a daily basis. This is not a conspiracy. These are facts that are presented in plain sight. If we only knew where to look. I mean, you can find the truth everywhere. And if you look at the distractions of the regular media or of the mass media, you will soon be reminded of how the mind control system works. They say that, repetition or hearing something repeatedly takes like an average of 7 times, 7 times before hearing it, before it kind of is accepted or becomes real or becomes true. And then we kind of lock it into our memory. So when you're bombarded with the media daily after daily, the scripted material that you hear from the national media, and you look at, you could change your channel, you'll see the same thing over and over and over and over again. As if it's just being crammed down your throats, where we have no other option. You have no other option but believe it. You believe it's true because you see it so damn many times. But you turn off your television, you begin listening to yourself and listening to what you want, and what you need and what we need as a people. Then you'll realize that the faulty information, you're going to realize that the truth is behind the curtain. When I discovered the encrypted messages in 1987 from the Pentagon, and I realized that I had just pulled back the curtain, actually, and I discovered Oz. I saw him. The Oz, the all-powerful and almighty. It turns out he's not that powerful at all. He's just a tiny little scared man who puts up a lot of false flags to get people to believe that he's in control, so that we all live in fear. It's time to be free Americans again, to believe in a country worth fighting for, to stand proud as we rebuild what has been destroyed and manipulated and taken from us. It's our time. So join me as a whole, as a people, to live free again. It's time, don't you think?